Dr. Wilkins, I've heard that there's some controversy being brought up by some of the nitric oxide experts about nitric oxide not, once you're over 50, not being able to convert nitric oxide from arginine. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, and again, it comes from supposedly there's studies that show that when you're 50, you're not creating the nitric oxide synthase that you were, at an earlier age. So again, your body makes a certain amount of arginine daily, and the idea then is that, well, when you get a certain age, the endothelium stops producing nitric oxide synthase, so now you can no longer benefit from arginine. So the thing that I really question about that is just how true is that. One thing that I have seen over the years, I can't unsee what I've seen, right? So what I have seen is many 50, 60, 70, 80 plus year old really benefit from arginine therapy. So I can't say that that's true. That's not been my experience. And I've seen, I've been working with this again since 2005 and seen a ton of people respond very favorably that are aged individuals to arginine therapy. So that at least that 5 grams of arginine, 2,000 grams of citrulline. And and so obviously it's doing something, and they have to be. So one of the things that definitely is happening is one of the issues with producing nitric oxide is being able to convert it due to what's called ADMA, or asymmetrical dimethyl arginine. And so that is a toxic arginine. It binds to the or the arginine receptors and causes problems with producing nitric oxide because ADMA does not convert into nitric oxide. So flooding the system or using therapeutic amounts of arginine really helps. Then the competition for the ADMA increases. And so a lot of those arginine molecules then are able to then get to where they need to go, and nitric oxide is being produced. So that's one reason why even older populations can benefit from arginine therapy, is that they're changing the ratio of the ADMA to arginine by using it. The other thing is really, instead of saying, well, nitric oxide synthase is not being produced anymore, so just give up on the arginine pathway and only stoke the nitrate pathway. The best thing to do is, how about restoring the endothelium so that more nitric oxide synthase can be produced? And this is very relevant because we know that high amounts of antioxidants, grapeseed extract, for instance, giving a quality grade therapeutic amount of grapeseed extract and grape skin extract actually produces nitric oxide. And why is that? Because the endothelium is very susceptible to oxidation. So if you give the body these high quality antioxidants, again, you can restore health to the endothelium. So now nitric oxide synthase can be produced, and even the arginine that your body makes can be useful. And that's the whole thing I think about is, hey, why not benefit from the arginine your body is making on its own outside of what you get from your diet, and do what you can to restore nitric oxide synthase. The other thing that causes a problem with nitric oxide synthase is heavy metals, particularly lead and cadmium. One of the minerals necessary to produce nitric oxide is zinc. Now, if you look at the periodic table, lead is very similar in structure to zinc. And so lead can jam up those zinc receptors, if you will, and the zinc can't get in there to finish the process of making nitric oxide synthase. Dr. Gary Gordon, one of the leading grandfathers of oral and IV EDTA chelation, he's overseen millions of IV treatments through the NIH, and we have all these great studies on the benefits of EDTA chelation. And what he saw routinely is he thought that it was EDTA was getting rid of calcium out of the arteries. And that's why people were having such great responses. But he noticed in some of the patients he was following that their calcium load didn't change, but they got such great results. They didn't need amputation. Their blood pressure went down. The erectile dysfunction went away. All these great symptoms happened. And that's where he realized that it had to do with heavy metal toxicity. So we know within the endothelium and the toxicity that brews underneath the endothelium, the foam cells and all that, that there's high concentrations of metals. So doing a metal detox can also help to restore nitric oxide synthase production. The other thing is nitric oxide itself. So one of the things that these naysayers of arginine talk about is how nitric oxide itself that's produced from nitrates and nitrites can also support endothelium health to where you can restore nitric oxide synthase. So my contention is rather than just give up on it, how about restore that nitric oxide synthase so you get benefits from the arginine your body's already making. You don't have to consume one thing to benefit from arginine because your body makes it. Yeah, we also want to supplement with it, and that's where a great balanced arginine nutraceutical can come in. Get rid of the metals, get a lot of good antioxidants into your body. Go ahead and boost your nitric oxide production with nitrate-based nutrition as well, with a good nitrate-based supplement. I like a whole food one myself rather than these ones that are just made from the salts, potassium nitrate or sodium nitrite. I like the betaine nitrates, the whole food. That's kind of the naturopath, I think, and maybe we like to tend to go towards whole foods. So I'm all about restoring nitric oxide synthase. That way, regardless of your age, you can benefit from the arginine your body makes, as well as the arginine that your body consumes through a good balanced supplement.
Fantastic. Yeah, I saw a testimonial this morning on CardioGo from an 81-year-old client. So that's fantastic. It definitely works.
It absolutely works. I've seen it over and over again. Again, I cannot unsee all the hundreds and hundreds of individuals, older individuals, even 90 years old, benefiting from a good, balanced arginine, citrulline, antioxidant supplement.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dr. Wilkins.
Thanks, Kelly.